Hi everybody. Today we're going to be cooking with kids and we're going to make a quick focaccia. Really easy recipe and you can let the kids participate and get messy and have fun with it. Alright, so first to start what we have to do is get our yeast going. So to do that we put in a cup of like tap hot water. So get it, fairly hot. By the time you get it in the bowl and stir it around, it's going to cool off a little bit. So 1 cup of tap hot water. This is going to get the yeast activated into the bowl. Just that easy. And then we need a teaspoon of salt. 1 teaspoon of salt. Here, in it goes, and 1 teaspoon of sugar. And you can let the kids do this. You can help them to scoop it out and to pour it into the bowl. And then we're going to give it a little stir. Again, let the kids do this until the salt and the sugar are pretty much dissolved. And then we add the yeast. I use a quick rise yeast, so this is one that you can get in your grocery store. And it works really quickly, and it's really hard to open. Okay. And for this bread, we're going to use 2 1/4 tablespoons of the yeast. So again, you can get your little ones to help you with this. So scoop it and give it a sprinkle over the water. That's 1. And then 2, and a little bit more, 1/4 teaspoon more. Just sprinkle it over there, and that's it for starting the yeast. So you're going to let that sit for about 10 minutes, and the yeast will start to foam up and froth, and then you know it's ready. So we're going to let that sit for 10 minutes. Okay, so now our yeast is activated, at least we hope. I am by no means a good baker. My daughters will attest. But anyway, I give it a try. And anyway, this really is not so much about the product, but about the process, and we're going to have fun doing this with our kids. So, okay, the yeast is ready to go. We need to add 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Hope I haven't forgotten any ingredients. I think we're good. And again, get the kids to help you with the measuring and the pouring. So 2 tablespoons of olive oil right in there. And now we're going to add our flour. So we need 2 1/2 cups of flour, like all-purpose flour. Perfect. When I'm working with kids, what I will do is instead of using like a cup, so you have 2 turns, 2 1/2 cups of flour, what I will do is use a smaller measuring cup, like a 1/2 cup, and then you can you'll have 5 turns, right? 5 scoops for the kids to pour in. But for time's sake, I'll just use the big cup. So that's 1. Oh, 1. 2, and I should use a 1/2. I can't find a 1/2, so I'll just do a 1/2 of this. Baking fun. Okay, about a 1/2. There we go. So 2 1/2 cups in there. You get a fork. You can get the kids involved in this too. Give them each a fork, or give them a fork. And mix it all up. Mix it together until you've got everything kind of coming together. So it'll start to be like a shaggy kind of ball. Okay. Okay. And once you've sort of got everything together, now you get your hands into it. So we get our hands in there, and again, get the kids in here with their hands. Of course, they've washed them really, really well before you started this whole process. So we just are gonna get the dough, and we're gonna work it around a little bit. Try and get it to sort of form something like a ball. This is the fun part. It's a little bit sticky. Some kids will really enjoy the stickiness and the gooiness of it. Other kids won't, and that's okay. Don't worry about that. All right, so we've made something of a shaggy ball. We're gonna put this back in the bowl, just like this, back in the bowl, and we're gonna cover it with a tea towel and let it sit for, I don't know, we'll give it maybe 30 minutes or so and let it rise. And then we'll come back to make our focaccia. 30 minutes later, and let's see, our dough is looking pretty nice. It's come up quite a bit. You can see it's quite sticky at this point, but it's really quite nice. So what I like to do now is get my pan, nice pan here. I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil on the pan, and get the kids to help you with this. They'll love this. So put the oil down and spread it with your hand all over the bottom of the pan. Oh, it's very nice. I love doing this. Feels so good. Nice greasy hands. Now I can pick up the dough and it doesn't stick quite so much. I'm going to put it down on the pan. And at this point, what I would do with kids is break off a piece of dough, just pull it off, and give that to each of your children. So they can each have their own piece of dough, and what they can do with it, you can give them a plate or you can give them another pan to work on, and just let them have fun with it. Let them do whatever they want with it. So they can make it into a shape, they can make a snowman, they can roll it out, you can give them rollers, you could give them forks to poke at it with. Let them use their imaginations with it. Again, it's about the process, not the product. So they may decide they want to make a snowman or something like that, and once they're finished playing with the dough and have made the shape that they want, you can put it on the pan and put it in the oven with your focaccia that you're planning to eat, and see what happens. And let them cook. If they're thick and sort of three-dimensional pieces, they're going to take longer to bake, but that's okay. And then when they come out of the oven, the kids can eat their little breads that they've made. So that's lots of fun. And again, it's a great sensory exploration for them, and there's lots of things they can do with it. They can even taste it, they can smell it, they can touch it and roll it around. So it's a really fun activity for little ones. So for your focaccia and for the kids, and they can help you with this one as well, is take your piece of dough. And again, this isn't real focaccia. This is what I call quick focaccia, because it is basically what it is pizza dough that we're just sort of making a quick and easy flatbread with. So I just kind of spread it out on the pan. You can see I'm spreading it out into sort of a loose rectangular shape, like so. I'm going to spread it out. Okay. And once I kind of get it to the shape that I'm happy with, you can see this, there's the shape, I'm going to let it sit again. So maybe another like 10 minutes or so, and then it's going to be ready to put in the oven. So we've let it sit for about 10 minutes. So it's risen up a little bit. So now get the kids involved in this, because this is kind of fun. You have to poke it with your fingers, kind of poke holes in it, make indentations. That's part of the look of the focaccia. Even though it's not real focaccia, but it'll sort of look like focaccia. All right, so So we put nice fingerprint holes in it. See? Nice and lumpy. And then we're going to take some olive oil and maybe put it in a little bowl or something. And if you have a pastry brush, you can use that. If you don't, use your hands. And get the kids involved again in this. So I have a pastry brush. I'm going to use a pastry brush, and I'm just going to brush the olive oil on top. That'll help it to sort of crisp up on the top. So pretty. And olive oil is really good for you too, so there we go. And then we're going to take a little bit of salt and kind of sprinkle it on the top. Bit of salt. And if you have herbs, you can add those as well. There we go. There. I look like a real chef doing this. Pull off the stems. Okay, so that's basically got it. So here's an example of something, you know, a child might make. So they might make like a snowman shape or something with some buttons and things, and just take that and put it on the pan with your focaccia. We're gonna just stick it on the pan, and we're gonna put it in the oven. Oh yeah, I set the oven to about 400 degrees, so I'm gonna put it in the oven, and it should take about 20-25 minutes. I'm gonna keep a close eye and let you know the time. Okay, here it goes. So about 20 minutes, and our bread is done. It looks really nice, slightly golden brown on the top. And you can take it, let it cool off a little bit, and then you can just tear pieces off and eat it. It's yummy. I recommend eating it when it's warm. It tastes really good. And here is our little snowman. Probably could use a few minutes longer in the oven because it's so thick. And then the kids, you can put butter on it, whatever you like. And the kids will really enjoy eating it because they help to make it. That's the beauty of cooking with kids. So before I go, I have a few tips to remember when you're cooking with kids. The first one is slow down. Go slow, take your time, and really enjoy the process. And let the kids enjoy the process. The second is, if you can manage it, try to get things down to the children's level. If you have like a little craft table or something that the kids use that to do the cooking on. That way it's a lot easier. If you don't have something like that, then I recommend, you know, putting them on something they can stand on so that they can see everything that's going on and they can participate. And the last tip I have for you basically is patience, patience, patience. Things are going to get messy, so be prepared for that and don't let it stress you out. Just have fun and let things get messy. Cleaning up is just part of it. So enjoy cooking with kids. Hope you have fun and hope you enjoy your bread. See you next time. Okay, so we're back. The yeast is activated, hopefully. This is the fun of making bread. You never really know what's going to happen. Yes! Get out!